Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Samir.
Hi, Samir. This is Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good, Jeremy. First of all, I'm so sorry. I did not get a calendar invite, so I wasn't aware that the call is being scheduled for right now up until I saw the Zoom invite. So I apologize for the confusion.
Yeah, actually, I have to also apologize for sending the room invite uh, late because we should have sent the invite earlier, but we forgot. So we just sent the invite right before the meeting.
No
I'm very
problem. No
sorry for
problem.
that. Yeah. So it's
No
okay.
problem,
Yeah.
Jeremy. I'm glad we can talk. I'm glad we can talk. So let's at least get started, and then we can have a more detailed discussion.
Okay.
I'm not in front of my computer right now, so I can't share anything. But at least we can get an introduction going, and then we can follow up.
Yeah. Actually, we also have a U.S. partners, Mike Hong. Originally, he would have also joined us. I don't know. I'm not quite sure whether he's gonna join us today. So let's just start it. Maybe he will join us later. Okay. And
Okay.
first of all,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. First of all, I think just briefly introduce our firm, White Star Capital. And
Uh-huh.
I'm not quite sure whether Peter Core and has sent our fund overview to you.
No,
No,
Peter
right?
hasn't shared. Peter just made the introduction. He hasn't shared any.
Okay. We are a Taiwan-based venture capital fund. The fund was, funded, early last year in June 2023. Actually, but the fund has been
Okay.
raised since 2022. But although the fund is quite new, but the management team is quite experienced. Each of our partners have the industry or VC experience over 20 years. So we are experienced partners from other VCs or industry, veterans. I would say that. So most of our partners' background are from VC, from electronic industry, from semiconductor industry, from telecom industry. Our chairman, Joseph Van, and is a telecom industry veterans in Taiwan, and he used to start up the telecom fixed wireless telecom firm and also wireless carrier in Taiwan. So he's quite experienced and a famous telecom veteran in Taiwan. And our U.S. partner Mike Hong, I just mentioned, and he has been in the U.S. for I think over 40 years, and ever since he immigrated to the U.S. When he was a senior high student, and he has been in the semiconductor industry in the Silicon Valley for I think over 30 years. Most of his
Okay.
semiconductor careers was in the wireless semiconductor chips. He used to be with the 3G infrastructure chip company called Morpheus. I don't know if you know. It's quite earlier, about I think more than 20 years ago. And also, I think the most recent company he was with is the Quantenna. I don't know if you know Quantenna. And
No, I don't. No. Yep.
yeah, the company was acquired by the Qualcomm.
By Qualcomm.
It's
Correct.
a wireless LAN chip company.
Right.
So
Very nice.
his career was mostly a semiconductor and a wireless. And me, Jeremy, and another partner, David Lane, and we were mostly from the VC industry. Both
Okay.
of us has been in the VC industry for more than 20 years, and my early career was also in the electronics industry, especially in the semiconductor industry. I used to be with Panasonic and also Motorola, semiconductor sector.
Okay. 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 Very
And
nice.
the reason that I know that Peter Coyle is that we both work for the same VC firm in our VC early career.
Okay.
We know each other for I think over 20 years.
Very
Okay.
nice.
And the fund, is more like IT focus, and we focus on the four application: mobility, connectivity, smart IoT, and zero contact technology, and cloud services.
Okay.
We want to focus on these four applications, leveraging the technologies like 5G, AI, big data, IoT, and cloud services. So I think your company is also right in our investment scope, because your application, I think a lot will be applied to those applications. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And
no, absolutely, absolutely. So, Jeremy, thank you for the introduction.
yeah.
I can quickly introduce.
Okay.
The discussion started. So I joined about 14 months back, September last year. And
okay, September.
before Mips, I was at TI for years. His role here last year I was running all the processor and controllers. My first business role in TI, my first P&L was running TI's comms infrastructure business. So I'm familiar with this comms market also. And then I did automotive radar. That was my start in the auto side. And then obviously our processor business was and microcontroller business was across both automotive, industrial, along with the so Mrs.
And I think that your sound is on and off. Probably
okay.
the connectivity is not quite good, or the bandwidth is not enough. I don't know whether it's our problem or your problem.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yo, are you okay with the connectivity?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you can hear quite clearly Samir's sound. Okay, let's go on.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello? Are you still talking? Hello, Samir? Are you still talking? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, excellent. And I see that you're sharing the investor deck as well. So yeah, like I was saying,
Okay.
so Mips is almost a 30-year-old company. It has gone through many ups and downs. In this latest incarnation of Mips, we are focusing on on the compute for data center, automotive, AI, basically a lot of data processing applications. When I had joined Mips, we were about 40 people. Now we are about 200 people. So we have raised the team size. We are serving customers like Mobileye and Microsoft. and we are starting to engage in the EV market with Tesla. And as a result of Tesla, we are also engaging with a lot of semiconductor vendors like ST, ADI, Renesas, Global Foundries. So net, um, we are focused on some key applications in automotive and data center around data processing, and we're building IP, but we're also engaging in software and systems so that we are a compute technology provider versus just a simple IP provider. Things are going well. We with RISC-V starting to gain momentum, there's a lot of interest in the technology. That is why we are also increasing team size. We are in the process of closing Series B. Obviously, I'm sure Peter has mentioned to you that Achi Capital has come in as a lead investor. Mobileye has come in with investment as well, about $25 million from Mobileye. And we are in the process of trying to converge on Series B. We have interest from Samsung and a couple of other Taiwanese investors as well. So this
investor?
Yes. So obviously, Achi Capital is Taiwanese. Achi is backed by Temasek and MediaTek, and a few others. We are also talking to CDIB. Are you familiar with CDIB?
Yeah. And the other investor you just mentioned, you first mentioned is that Vichy or what? Taiwanese investor you just mentioned invested by MediaTek and Temasek, right? What's the name of the VC?
At CDIB, we're talking with Eddie and Susan.
Susan Ling. I believe it is Susan Ling, right?
Yes. Eddie is on her team.
Eddie. Okay.
Yes. Eddie Wei.
I mean, the VC that the Taiwanese VC you just mentioned has committed to invest is the VC invested by Temasek and MediaTek, right? Oh. Okay. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry, Jeremy. Yeah, so Achi Capital has
$40 million and committed $25 million.
Achi Capital.
Yes.
Arch, A-R-C-H-E?
A-C-H-I.
A-C-H-I?
Right.
Achi Capital?
Yes.
Okay, 25 million?
They have committed $40 million.
Or $40 million.
Yes, and Mo has committed $25 million.
Okay. Maybe I think we can execute because the wireless connection is not quite good, so maybe we can send some email for these details, and we just focus on the overview. Yeah.
So anyway, so Jeremy, right now, the company is heading toward a good trajectory of growth. We obviously have, but we also have new licenses on RISC-V, which we have closed. With Mobileye, we just released our first RISC-V core to Mobileye for them to put in their mainstream SoC. We will be the first automotive RISC-V core in a mainstream OEM going into production at 5 nanometer TSMC. So that's we are also working with Microsoft to release RISC-V core for all of their AI storage and server. and we are starting to engage with a lot of customers on the EV side, and EV new energy side on the controller as well, including Tesla. So revenue projection, like this year, we will probably do around between 20 to 25 million dollars. Next year, we are looking at doing about 40 to 45 million dollars, and we should have bookings of about 60 to 65. In terms of burn rate, we spend about 55 to 60 million dollars per year. So right now, if we are able to execute to our plan, we will be turning the company cash flow positive before the end of 2026. The round pre-money valuation is about 180. So we are raising $90 million. So you can do the math to $70 million valuation. And yeah, I think those are the key aspects. Obviously, happy to share a lot more detail. But I think that's like the high level view of what we're trying to do.
Okay, so you're gonna raise $90 million, and you got the free money for $180 million. The post money is going to be 270 million, right? Is that
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And you probably has raised like more than like 50 million, right? Yeah, or 65 million.
65. Yeah, 65 is already done.
Yeah.
Samsung is coming in most likely with 5. CDIB will come in with some money as well. We're looking to, and there are a few other discussions in the pipeline. But I don't know what your level of strategy and interest is, but I think we would love to have a discussion with you and see whether this is worth you guys looking into as well.
Yeah, I think we are not a big fund, and the fund size is around 40 million, and our investment size is ranging from the 1 million to 5 million, depending on the early stage of the companies. Okay.
Yeah. So Jeremy, from my perspective, 1 million would be too small. We would not because the idea is not to get too many small investors.
Right.
But if this is a $5 million discussion, then absolutely this would make sense.
Okay, 5 million, and what about 3 million? If we could commit 3 million, is there still so small?
Let's have the discussion. I will try and convince you to come in with 5.
Okay.
If it has to be 3, we can discuss.
Okay, let's shoot for 5. Okay, let's assume we're gonna have 5, and then
yeah. See, Jeremy. End of the day, look. Having now raised this round over the past 6-9 months, and having spent a lot of time in Taiwan.
Okay.
What I can tell you is that the company is making very good progress, right? We have very strategic customers who depend on us. So if you just look at Mobileye and Microsoft, the $20 million revenue, if I did not win anyone else and I just stayed with the 2 of them, because they're already shipping, that will go from 20 to say 40, $45 million between the 2 of them. Now we are in the process of closing some very big deals, including with Global Foundries. We have a $12 million deal on the table right now over 2 years. So 12 million over 2 years, just from a licensing and NRE perspective. So I'm very confident that we can drive this company towards being cash flow positive, and continue innovating in a very, very focused manner. Look, I spent most of my career at TI. So for me, I'm not interested in spending investor money unnecessarily. I want to go turn this business profitable as quickly as I can. And I think for me, that timeline is about 2026. Even from an exit perspective, the kind of technology we are building, the kind of customers we are engaging with, we are being very selective because we want to engage with customers who can also potentially be exits. Like tomorrow morning, I'm flying to San Diego for my second meeting with Qualcomm. And
Okay, great.
and again, the technology we are building complements these big companies. I was part of TI myself, so I have a good understanding of where the gaps are. And we are sort of building CPU technology which will complement what these big companies are doing. And given their dependency on ARM and the concern around that, right now we are working towards growing the company so that it can stand on its feet. But honestly, when I look at it, I think we are also building a very valuable strategic asset for any of these companies to be interested in acquiring us in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay, it just mentioned 2026 is your target exit point, right?
2026 is my target cash flow positive point. I don't know whether I can have a target exit. Look, end of the day, our revenue plan is about $40 million. We are going to spend $60 million per year. We are raising $90 million. So we have money. We're not going to run out of money. But I'm not interested in running out of money. I'm interested in creating a good customer base who can pay for my R&D and run a profitable business. So that's how we are approaching this problem. And there's significant momentum in the market right now.
Okay. So Peter's firm is also your existing investor, right?
Peter himself is an existing investor from one of the earlier rounds with the original investor, Tallwood. Peter's firm right now is obviously helping us raise money in Asia. So we work with Peter and Kerr on that. But so, Peter is an investor as well, technically in the company.
So Peter, personally, individually, is the investor of the company.
He has some shares of the company. You are correct.
Oh, okay. So I thought his previous friend is the investor of the company. So actually, himself, personal investor.
Yeah, whether it is company or personal, I don't know exactly. But Peter is a shareholder. Let me put it that way.
I see. And so, do you come over to Taiwan quite often?
I am in Taiwan almost every month. So the next time I'm in Taiwan is the week of November 17th, 18th, 19th. That time, I would love to meet you face to face. And we can even have a conference call before that to answer some more specific questions. We can also share some more documentation. But fundamentally, November end is when we want to start converging on what the remainder of the round looks like. So if we can use time from now until when I'm there face to face to make sure that you have all the information, and then obviously when I'm there face to face, we can sit down and chat, and I can share more of my perspective. That would work just fine.
Okay, I think when you come to Taiwan next time, maybe we can meet up to discuss in detail. That will be better, yeah. And
yeah, absolutely.
And if you can introduce us to like Archie Capital, so I think they are also based in Taiwan, right?
Yeah. Tim Chen and Roger both are based in Taiwan. I'll be happy to make the introduction.
Yeah, probably we can talk to those investors who has committed. It will speed up our process. Yeah. Exactly. And also, I know CDIB. We can also talk to CDIB and Susan Ling. She was my old friend, so we could. I can refer some. Get some reference from him. Yeah.
Jeremy, everyone in Taiwan knows everyone, so feel free to talk to CDIB. They have been doing a lot of diligence, and obviously Archie Capital is the lead investor. So Tim Chen and Roger Lin are the principals on Archie Capital. They're both in Taiwan. If you can send me your phone number, I will send them your phone number and make the introduction.
Can you make the okay? I send you want to make the email introduction or
I can do email as well, no problem. I can do it over
Okay.
email, no problem at
Yeah.
all.
and then we can talk to each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Archie Capital is the lead investor, right?
Correct.
And you just mentioned one of the core investor of Archie Capital is MediaTek. Do you have any partnership with MediaTek, or if MediaTek would be interested in Mips?
I'm meeting David Ko when I'm in Taiwan the same week.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of interest from MediaTek to see what we can do together, both on the automotive side and on the data center side. And that is why I have a meeting with David when I'm there.
Okay. Have you met with other their strategic investment department? Anyone?
Yeah. Brian. I mean, I know Brian Su. Brian and me have spent a lot of time. That's why they invested.
Brian Wayne.
Brian is the person who I've spoken to, Brian Su. So he heads the MediaTek Ventures. So
Okay.
Feel free to connect with Brian as well.
Brian is I think he's in the Silicon Valley.
No, Brian is based out of Taiwan.
Oh, in Taiwan? Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So okay. I also know Brian, but I'm more familiar with Wayne. Yeah. That's okay.
Feel free to reach out to them as well and ask the question.
Okay.
But yeah, whether it is MediaTek, CDIB, Archie Capital, there is enough people in Taiwan who we have spoken to, and they have decided to invest. And we already have the first tranche of the money, so it is not a commitment. It is they've already transitioned the money, and we are going through CFIUS right now. And hopefully, once CFIUS is done towards the end of the year, we will get the remainder of the money as well. That's where we are.
Okay. Sorry, because the wireless connection was not quite good earlier today. So you just mentioned that in addition to the Arch Capital 40 million and of the lead investor, and another 25 investors, Mobileye.
Mobileye, yes.
Mobileye. Okay, it's a US-based VC investor.
No, Mobileye is our customer. So Mobileye,
okay.
Mobileye is an Intel. Intel owns about 90% of the company. It is a public company. Mobileye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mobileye. It is a very
Mobileye. I thought Mobileye. Mobileye. I know.
Yes. So Mobileye is exactly. So Mobileye's entire platform is based on Mips.
Okay, I see.
So so it is a customer. We get about $10 to $12 million from Mobileye per year in terms of revenue, and they have invested $25 million in the round.
I see. Yeah. Then I think I have the whole picture of your fundraising plan, and so yeah, give me a direction how I could start my due diligence.
Yeah.
And probably let's quickly go through your slides, and then when you come to Taiwan, then probably we can discuss in further.
So I am on my phone and I'm driving, but Jeremy, on the slides, if you maybe we do this face to face when I'm in Taiwan.
Okay, sure.
That might be better.
Okay, no problem.
But the key differentiation for us, just so that you understand, is whenever it comes to data processing, the Mips architecture has very, very unique capability, which is why we are getting used in many data processing applications. So if you think about AI and you think about the need to move data around very effectively, we do that better than almost anyone else on the planet. Mobileye is completely dependent on Mips. Microsoft AI storage, which is a lot of data movement, is also dependent on Mips. That's what we do really well. And now we are starting to expand that with new customers and new markets. And that is where we are starting to see the growth coming.
I have gone through your slides, but one thing I didn't understand is that you name your chip as a data processor, right?
Uh-huh.
And what I have heard is that the GPU, CPU. I haven't heard about it like DPU, right?
Mhm.
So DPUs, in your architecture, it sounds to me it's like traffic police. It direct the traffic between the GPU, CPU, and probably like communication chip and the memories. And
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. So Jeremy, are you familiar with the concept of scale out? So
scale out.
yeah, scale out means when you're combining many GPUs together. So
Yes.
when you're running very large AI workloads, you have to run it on multiple GPUs.
Yeah,
Whenever you're combining multiple GPUs together, if you're using NVIDIA, then they have a proprietary way of doing it, which is called NVLink. But if you're using any other GPU or AI accelerator, for you to be able to combine multiple GPUs, you need to be able to have a chip which is able to connect multiple GPUs and move that data.
So
Our
CPUs,
yeah, our CPUs our CPU cores are very good for that function in the data center.
Okay. So your target market is for non NVIDIA GPU market, right?
Yes, our target market is one of the markets where we focus is on a non-NVIDIA GPU. But then the same capability of moving data is essential in automotive as well. So in automotive, you are moving a lot of sensor data, a lot of video data for autonomous driving or even level 2+ driving. So our capability on being able to process multiple streams of data together comes in very handy there also.
Okay.
And then the last example I'll give you is even when you're looking at an EV, you are now moving very, very small bits of data, but very, very quickly to do the battery charging and to do the traction inverter on an EV. So again, our technology, because we are able to move data, it is called multi-threaded technology, comes in very handy there. So the performance with our CPUs on those things are also much, much better. So I like to call it bits, bytes, and terabytes. Bits is on the EV side, bytes is on the auto side, and terabytes is on the data center side. And ultimately, it is the same capability in the CPU, some small, some large, which allows us to be a very, very capable CPU in data processing applications.
So NVIDIA's GPU has their own, architecture, right? So they don't need your chip, right?
They don't need our chip per se. We don't build chip, right? We build IP. We are talking we're not talking to NVIDIA on this. We are talking to NVIDIA on the comms infrastructure side, on the layer 1 processing. So we have some discussion with NVIDIA going as well. But on their GPU, as of now, we do not have an engagement with them.
Okay. That's, I think, for the data center market. But for the automobile market, maybe that's another.
Jeremy, if I had an engagement with NVIDIA on GPU, my valuation would not be 207 million. It would be 2.7 billion.
I see. Okay.
So let's be realistic.
So
NVIDIA does not use any other core. They build their cores themselves. So they're not dependent on us.
Your valuation will grow with AMD.
AMD, look,
And
our growth strategy, Jeremy, is driven by we are playing in three segments,
mhm,
and honestly, we are going to grow in all three of them. Right now, if you ask me, automotive with the microcontroller stuff, with the EV stuff is very promising. The data center stuff with Microsoft is we are in Azure, so we already have a footprint there, and that is very promising, and that is continuing to expand. So no, I think again, Nvidia is Nvidia, but if you keep Nvidia out, um, we are doing very well in terms of our growth prospects.
right, right. And I think probably we can discuss more in details when you come to Taiwan, and let's have a face-to-face discussion. And but one more question I want to ask is about your DPU process. Is this going to use like 2 nanometer or 3 nanometer, 5 nanometer?
Yeah, so that is customer dependent, Jeremy, because our IP can run on any node, but Microsoft is taping out in 3 nanometer TSMC, the latest one.
Mm-hmm.
Mobileye just taped out, is in the process of taping out towards the end of the year in 5 nanometer TSMC.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the microcontroller side for Tesla, we will most likely tape out in 22 nanometer global foundry.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying that you have different kinds of chips or different customers?
Again, yeah, we are IP, Jeremy. The chips is built by our customer. We are
Oh,
IP.
I see. I see.
So our IP can scale in any node, depending on the application where we're trying to take it. Yeah.
So you are not. I forgot that you are not shipping chips. You are shipping IPs.
Correct. IP and software.
Okay, software. I see. Okay.
So that is why, Jeremy, it is a very low capital intensive business. Now what's happening is we are starting to get into chiplets, but chiplet subsystem design. So instead of getting very low royalties, we are getting higher royalties now. Like the latest quote we sent to Global Foundries is a $12 million licensing and NRE combined with about 10% royalty. So you're starting to get into pretty high numbers because we are doing more than just CPU cores. We are doing the entire subsystem. Very similar to ARM, basically.
Okay. I see my U.S. partners, Mike Kong, is already online. And
hey, Mike, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I joined late. I totally forgot about this call. Probably because I didn't receive any email about the invite. I do have one quick question.
Sure, Mike.
Sam, can I call you Sam or Sammy?
Samir is fine.
Okay. I do remember, is this the Mips that 30, 40 years ago been pretty...
Yes.
So what's going on? Can you give us some, I'm sure you did some history talking in the beginning. I'm just curious.
Yeah, Mike,
I thought the last Mips that either core or chip or whatever is landed in China. Are you that particular entity, or this is totally different?
No. Okay, so let me help. So Mike, you are correct. Mips is not a new company. It's about a 30-year-old company. So I joined Mips about a year and 3 months back. And my previous role was running all of the processor and controllers at TI. So I've been at TI for about 18 years. Mips is a very interesting history. It was a very successful IP company. Then they had some processors as well. Then they got bought, they got sold, they went public. Everything which can happen to a company has happened. About 2017 is when Imagination bought them. And Imagination decided to compete with ARM. with the Mips core and then the Imagination GPU. However, Imagination ran into trouble when they lost Apple, and then Imagination was getting acquired by Canyon Bridge out of China, and that's when the U.S. government CFIUS kicked in, and they had to spin Mips out before the transaction could complete. At that point, Mips went to wave computing, and wave computing was what Tallwood was the lead investor in that. And then wave computing was basically doing AI before AI was hot. They were basically doing what TensorStorm is doing today, in my opinion, spending a lot of money with no line of sight to revenue. So they raised some money, but they ran out of money and they went bankrupt. Now, Mips was always a separate business inside wave computing, and Mips was actually cash flow positive because Mips had old royalties and was continuing to execute on the Mips ISA. But once they went bankrupt, then everything started shrinking. So obviously, the investors at that time brought in new CEO Sanjay. He shut down Wave. He saved the Mips assets. And around that time, Risk5 was starting to pick up. And in 2019, they pivoted from the Mips ISA to the Risk5 ISA. So they stopped developing Mips at that point, and they were able to retain Mobileye as a customer. And they pivoted, and then COVID happened, so everything slowed down. But they continued developing the CPU core. And then just as COVID was coming to an end, they started looking for a new CEO, and then they found. And then when I came in, I found the company with a core in development on Risk5, with a customer committed, which is Mobileye. And company was in a pretty bad shape, honestly, right? I mean, 43 people, a lot of good IP, a lot of good history, legacy revenue. But honestly, no real strategy in there. And I was sort of enjoying myself at TI, but I was looking for a new challenge. This came by. I was like, all right, Risk5 is interesting because I was dabbling into it at TI as well. So I was like, all right, this is a good platform to start with, but there's a lot of work here. And jumped in. Today we are a very different company. Right? We have a strategy. We have gone from 43 to 200 people. We are not only servicing Mobileye, we just delivered the Risk5 core to them. We have now brought on Microsoft from the old Mips ISA to the Risk5 ISA as well. And we are actively expanding into other markets, including working closely with Tesla on their next generation microcontroller platform for all of their EVs and chargers. As a result of that, we are starting to engage with, the semiconductor world, right? So ADI, ST, Renesas, Global Foundries, where Global Foundries is so excited about the technology, they are actually committing to do a microcontroller on it themselves. So things are starting to move. We're also engaging with Nokia. I know you have a comms background, so we're engaging with Nokia on a RFI for DFE as well. We're also starting to engage with NVIDIA early on the comms side, on their side, because they want to use GPUs for inference, but obviously they can't run all of layer one on that. So the thing is, we are multi-threaded processors. So, and with Risk5, you can do custom extensions and multi-threaded processors, so you can do interesting stuff on the layer one itself. So we're starting to collaborate on that, but that's out in time. Revenue-wise, we are about $25 million this year, 20 to 25. Let's see where the year ends. Most of it is legacy royalties, which will stay, but we have about $10 million of new licensing out of that. And next year with the pipeline, Global, ADI, ST, Renesas, Mobileye, obviously new licenses, Microsoft new licenses. We're looking at about $40 million of revenue. We spend about $60 million every year. We will do 40 next year, and then hopefully we'll continue growing beyond that. Our goal right now is we should turn cash flow positive by the end of 26.
see.
We are in the process of raising a Series B. We started with the goal of raising 70. Right now, we are more converging towards $90 million. We have a lead investor out of Taiwan, which is Achi Capital. Achi Capital has MediaTek and Temasek and a few others as their LPs. And then they are coming in with $40 million. And we have Mobileye, who has come in with $25 million. We have received the first tranche of the money that's already in the bank. We're going through CFIUS with Achi Capital. That should be done by end of this year, early next year. So the rest of the money will come in. So we have secured 65 out of the 90 target right now. We are in discussions with a bunch of others like CDIB out of Taiwan. Mentioned that to Jeremy. We have Samsung, who's looking at it closely, and they have some IC meetings coming up. And we have a few others who we are talking to. My goal is to try and close the round before the end of the year. That's what we are.
And you mentioned something about 200 and some million pre-money. Is that still?
Yeah. So
yeah.
fair, right? So valuation is 180 pre. So 270. Yeah, 270 post close.
Got it. Now, what happened to the MIPS license to all these Chinese company in the past?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. So that's independent.
That?
No, bullshit. Mike, look, the MIPS at that time had a MIPS ISA license, which they had done a license with a company called CIP out of China. And that is a license for all the old MIPS products on the MIPS ISA. And that license still exists in China. They are doing whatever they want to do. But that is all legacy.
Who's supporting that?
We are not. They're doing it themselves. We do not talk to them. We have no relationship with them.
I see. And, but you're carrying the same name. That might be a little bit confusing, especially whoever watching this.
We are past that stage. Yeah, Mike, we are past that stage, right? MIPS carries a very strong brand. Because end of the day, we're still a CPU company. So I had this discussion when I came on board, and many people said change the name. And I was going to, and then I was like, look, even if I was to go call it, I don't know, pick any name, Flower. The very minute I say, okay, I'm Flower, they'll be like, Flower. I'll be like, oh, I used to be MIPS. So we're back to the same discussion. So it doesn't make sense. And honestly, we're not running away from being MIPS. We're running towards it. If you think about where we are focusing, we're focusing on what made MIPS successful at that time. Yes, we are using RISC-V, but our microarchitecture is very MIPS. It's still multi-threaded, still cache coherent, still very good for data processing application. And today with AI being a lot of the investment, it's all about data. So I have data inside the car, I have data on the data center, and I have data like little data, like I said, bits, bytes, and terabytes. The bits are on the analog side, converting them into battery power technology, right? So it's very much what MIPS used to be good at. And instead of chasing ARM, I'm not trying to be the next ARM, not trying to be the next Sci-Fi. Honestly, I actually don't think RISC-V is an IP licensing business long term. I think this is a technology which allows people to express systems. And if we are able to build a solid compute execution engine, there are many system providers who will need that. And whether they engage with us to license or to buy, I will tell.
I guess my real question is the URISC-V versus whatever RISC-V is now out there. What is your differences, or what is your differentiators?
Huge difference, right? Huge difference. Like I said, right, we are very focused on data processing. So we are the only multi-threaded cache coherent RISC-V. Just that is a feature. Secondly, we are the only one who is heading to production on an automotive mainstream customer like Mobileye. Like Mobileye has all of Volkswagen. They have 60% share on ADAS. That is all MIPS architecture. We will be the first RISC-V in mainstream cars outside of China. Honestly, maybe inside China as well. We are also engaging with BYD right now on the same. So doing automotive is not easy, but once you're doing automotive, it creates a very, very large differentiation and moat around it. Secondly,
now, earlier you go ahead.
yeah, so those are the two. The third one I'll say is we are the only one who's actually installed in a data center today as the main core. All of Microsoft AI storage runs on Mips and now will run on RISC-V. We have that, we close that transaction. They're developing it. They will tape out the device before the end of next year. So if you look at where we are winning, we are not trying to win everywhere. We are not a general purpose core. We're very focused on applications, and we tend to win on these large customers who are leaders in that space and work very closely with them to go deliver.
I see. So may I say in a way that you got all the legacy Mips architecture, but then you now so how do I look at you differently than if I go to the RISC-V platform and license that IP?
We are the only ones who have revenue.
Oh, okay.
We are the only ones who have all the patents from 30 years of Mips.
Okay.
We are the only ones who actually have customers who are shipping and designing in massive RISC-V into their mainstream processors.
Should I look at you as you are a RISC-V architecture, but are totally developed based on Mips original core? Can I look at it that way?
Exactly. It is a RISC-V ISA with the Mips microarchitecture.
Okay. That give me a much clearer picture because there are a lot of company out there.
Yeah, we are not a vanilla RISC-V. We are not a vanilla RISC-V.
Or RISC-V, even FPGA company.
Correct.
Based
so we are
on
not
RISC-V. Okay,
yeah,
you're not one of them. Okay.
No. We see, RISC-V is only what do you call a tool for us. I'm not a RISC-V company. I don't talk to customers like a RISC-V company. I'm Mips. I solve specific compute problems. We tend to be very good at data processing, and we go attack those problems. Even if you look at our team, I come from TI, so I understand solutions. The team is a mixture of people who know CPUs and people who know solutions. And that is what makes us win. So when we go talk to Tesla, we don't talk to Tesla about, okay, here is my core mark and DMIPS and SpecInt. Those are important. We talk to Tesla and saying, okay, so you're building a traction inverter. Today, your control loop is about 80 kilohertz. If you use our controller, your control loop can be 200 kilohertz. And 200 kilohertz control loop means your cost in all the inductors is less than half of what it is today. And we can do that because, well, I built the Tesla business for TI when I was at TI. We understand that technology. We have people who understand traction inverters and control loops, and we have people who understand CPUs. So we combine that, and then we attack that problem. So if you fast forward this, if we are able to execute, 50% of the world's electric motors should be running on a Mips RISC-V core. I'm not trying to win one or two customers here, right? I'm trying to say we're going to be a category defining core. And if we're able to do it correctly, the answer should be 50% of every motor on the planet. And just look around the number of motors, right? Obviously, EVs, solar cells, robotics, factory automation. It's a $25 billion TAM today and only growing. So IP is only a way of transacting business for us today. And now we have Global Foundries building a chip for us as well. And once that chip is out, we will be able to take that to multiple people who want custom solutions and start multiplying the impact of what we're doing.
Okay. Your deliverable, you said software plus, is it soft IP? Is it RTL? Is it, what is it?
Yeah, so it is RTL with the GDS front end done. That's the basic deliverable. But Mike, more and more of our discussions today are on the subsystem. So it is no longer just a CPU RTL. It tends to be the subsystem. So like in the microcontroller example I just gave, we are actually doing the entire control loop, including the analog IP. So PWM, ADCs, That way we can guarantee performance. I don't do anything on the back end, like any back end closure. I let that be with the fab or the customer.
Got it. Okay. So
So
how do
a
you
lot of
verify
on this off-
how do you verify your IP? Do you run test chip in various foundry with different technology nodes? So
Yeah, so we have access to TSMC 5 nanometer technology, 3 nanometer, Global Foundry 22 nanometer. So we validate our PPAs and everything based on that. And then obviously with Global, they're actually doing the chip collaboratively with us. Mobileye is doing 5 nanometer chip, and Microsoft is doing 3 nanometer chip.
I see. All right. Continue if you have more slide. Go ahead. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Mike, if you're local, I mean, I'm happy to meet you face to face even before I type.
Yeah, sure. I'm local. I'm in Bay Area.
Okay. Yeah, we just moved here as well, so I live in San Mateo. Our office is in Zanker. You're welcome to come by the office. We can schedule that up.
Sure.
Samir probably, has a limited time today, so we don't want to run too much time with him. So probably you are local, you can schedule a time to talk to Samir further, and Samir also will come to Taiwan. I think mid of November. So we will talk to him, and when we talk to him, probably you can also join our call. Yeah.
Okay.
And
sure.
then they will discuss in more detail about their product, corporate structure, and fundraising status.
Okay, so I will make the introductions for our lead investor out of Taiwan, and Mike, I'll send you a note as well. Let us know your availability, and then let's schedule a follow-up face-to-face in California. And then obviously I'll be in Taiwan in a couple of weeks, and then we can follow up.
All right.
And Mike, I will also, because the one who referred still to us is my ex-colleague Peter Kuo, and I think he knows the history quite well. And I will also schedule a call with him, and you can join and listen to the whole background of the company and the fundraising status.
Okay.
And Samir, probably we don't want to occupy your time too much. So right now, let's let's just conclude the call. Okay.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you guys taking the time, and I look forward to more discussions.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.